Hello, welcome to New Deftones. Yes. We did a listening party for Ohms when it came out, and now we're doing one for private music, all lowercase. So stylistic. And so many snakes! Different colored backgrounds, but I think that's one of those, I could be wrong, but it reminds me of one of those snakes that's yellow and white, and they just desaturated it. White snake, white pony. All right, so I'm assuming everyone that's on likes and knows the Deftones. Sorry, it's not the Deftones, just Deftones. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. So I'm a huge Deftones fan. I have been a fan since I was 15, I would say. I heard My Own Summer on the radio and was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard. And then I got Around the Fur and Adrenaline, and I think I got them at the same time. But yeah, and then since then, I have followed them fairly closely. I did sort of drop off a little bit around Self-Titled and Diamond Eyes and Saturday Night Wrist. I have since become very familiar with those albums, but yeah, I did have a lapse, I admit it. Koi no Yokan brought me back full on, and they're just great. I think even at their worst, they're great. You know, they're just really such a solid group of people making solid music. Well, I don't know anything about them as people, I should say. But when they're all together, they make amazing things. So I have not heard this new album. I have heard My Mind is a Mountain once, and they released another single, right? And that other single, whose name is escaping me, is sort of playing in my head. Like, you're something's growing, something. Like the chorus is like, has stuck with me. So I'm definitely excited to hear that one again. And then all the other songs. Yeah, good. Man, it's hot in Texas. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Got my piano. I love figuring out Deftones on piano. It sounds so good. Deftones sounds good on every instrument ever. I wonder if I'm thinking of if My Mind is a Mountain is the song with that chorus, or if it's a different one. Can't remember. And it's the first track. All right, so I'll play the whole track, and then I'll stop it, and I'll figure some stuff out. I'll, share what I think about it, what I heard, and then we'll go to the next one. So here is My Mind is a Mountain. That's such a different note. Oh. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Okay, so it's in C. Sorry, it's in C, and they've got that Deftones, the Deftones bend in the lower. I don't know. It's probably the guitar. Guitar. Wait, I can't remember how many people in this band now. 4 people. But octave lower. Right. Okay, but this, so the chord progression in the verse, I think, or in the chord progression I heard is made of suspended chords. Man, I love a good suspended chord. They sound so good on any instrument, any range. They just resonate. They buzz. They're expansive. They're beautiful. They're tense. They're yearning. They're everything. They're so good. Specifically this one, which is a suspended second. And most often on a guitar, you hear it spread like a 1-5-9. So like a... So I'm hearing a lot of that. I'm not sure if that chord specifically does it, but the next two do. Sorry. But we can confirm. Oh yeah, that note's so Deftonesy. It's a 9th. Okay, so that home chord actually I think might be like more of a minor chord. And that reminds me of Change in the House. No, not Change. Yeah, Change in the House of Flies. Kind of gives me that vibe. What do you think? Maybe? Could just be a power chord though. I could be reading into it. But then the next two, yeah. I do hear the, okay, all right. My final answer. Beautiful. A 1 and a flat 3 and a 4 chord. Beautiful progression. It has this gorgeous rising up, falling back down feeling. Timing is interesting. So the time signature for the verse and the chorus, I actually would say are different. I believe that I would say the verse chord progression is in 12/8, and then the chorus chord, I said chord progression. Time signature is in 6/8. You might think, okay, those are just the same thing. Well, they're not, because this part sounds like, is it, or do I have them mixed up? Hang on. So I hear a very strong emphasis of the 1 and the 3 and the 4. But then there's a polyrhythm every 2 beats that's doing the 6/8 feel. So there's 2 ways to look at it. No, there's more than 2 ways. You could look at it as there's sort of a metric modulation that happens very seamlessly between the 12/8 and the 6/8. They have different emphasis patterns, and the beat is not at the same exact pace, but that it goes from 12/8 into 6/8, and in the 12/8 there's a little flavor of the 6/8 in there, but it's not the predominant rhythm. And then the other way to think about it, though, is that there's just sort of a overlay of the 12/8 and the 6/8 in the verse, and then in the chorus it's clear. But just to give you an idea, I'll try to count along. However, there is a latency issue, so the music is a little behind my voice, but I can't hear it. It's only going to be on your end. So I'm going to try to do it late to try to sync it up, but I don't actually know if it's going to work. I try sometimes, and it's not always successful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right, and that beat from before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of gone now. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you feel it? So I really enjoyed that. That was just a cool feeling. There's some beautiful background vocals on this one. It's I want to actually listen to it again. Here. So I'm hearing that kind of, it might just be these notes. Really beautiful, that tension. It sounds so feminine. I wonder, it could be Chino because he can sound very, and he's singing breathy in his falsetto like that. Like, ooh, he can sound like that, but it almost sounds, I don't know, it might actually be a woman doing backing vocals. It's possible. I don't know. What do you think? I guess it's more likely it's him. It's just so, it doesn't sound like him. I don't know. That's such a Deftones move, just like a long, beautiful chord as a transition element to the next section. Wow. Pretty melody. The something right, approximately. So many Deftones things happening. And then, is that the... So here in the verse, the thing that's doing the 6/8 pattern over the 12/8 is the kick drum, which is very cool. That's a fun thing to do as a drummer, and I love Abe so much. I would say he's my favorite drummer. I know Danny Carey exists. He's incredible, but Abe's grooves and sense of musicality, and also just his drum sounds. I mean, I can't, I think he could hit anything and I would be into it, but there is something just particularly thwacky and deep and amazing about his drum kit and how it's recorded. Okay. Okay, so it goes. It's still amazing. They're still coming up with great melodies. I just always think that there's like a finite amount of melodies and eventually we're going to use them all, but no. A lot of 7s and 9s. He loves that. And then the chorus is the yelling. Tonal yelling though. That's a note. And these vocal harmonies sent me. They feel kind of 10 Years. I don't know if you're familiar with 10 Years. 10 Years is a great band, but they have a lot of these 5ths, 4ths harmonies. And even just the particular movement of this reminds me of 10 Years. So that sounds so good. Solid track. I can imagine myself really falling for this one with repeated listens. Okay, next up is Locked Club. There's the bend. preaching or something. Join our parade or feel left out. Oh, that was it. I'm sorry. I missed the ending. Wow, that was 3 minutes? That went by really fast. What? Oh, God. My only criticism of that song is I just wish that Abe's drums were a little louder. But, you know, I'm biased. I just love his drums so much. That one had a lot more atmosphere. So, you know, you got to sacrifice something. So this also has kind of a non-melodic portion. And it felt, I tried to talk over the music. I'm not sure if you heard me, but it sounded almost like a kind of like preaching, but like street preaching. I don't know. And it says, cruise out in style. Well, it's safe. Come stepping out proud from the gates. Symbolize the truth. We exist inside of this tribe. We know our place. We're locked in. I never really quite know what they're talking about, and I like that. And then the chorus. So yeah, but drum pattern, something, a lot of snares. A lot of snares. Da 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 da. That's not like a super common Abe kind of groove. So that caught my ear. It's like a little different, which is great. We love musicians who, you know, they like do their thing really well, but they also try new stuff. Because he could easily have just gone, you know, done his like Abe thing. Instead, he's like da 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 da. So that's cool. Gives it a sense of urgency. It's a little playful almost. But the chorus, I mean. So now that's more like his typical groove, right? Which I'm obsessed with. Because even though he's got his style with his slower grooves, every single one, and I've studied it, are different. He never reuses a groove. He's always got these interesting little details and variations and things. He doesn't repeat fills. He's just, you know, it's great. Okay, let's listen to this again here. All right, so it's, what about the parade? Join our parade or be left out. Join our parade. And then, or be left out. Now be left out the second time. So this whole song has a pattern of 2 notes in the bass and guitar. The first 2 are D and then E. Oh, sorry, C and D. And then it changes to A and then D, but same rhythm. Instead of the this is so pretty. I'm hearing some atmospheric layers. Could be synths, could be guitars. chorus. Of course. Ninths and sevenths, all the way. And this is cool. Left out. A rare tritone jump in a voice. Not an easy interval. Left out. That's beautiful. This song had some beautiful things in it. Oh yes, I love this part. I can feel it. Okay, there's a polyrhythm. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. 4 against 3, and I can tell them apart because of Andrew Wong. His music teacher told him that 4 against 3 sounds like pass the goddamn butter. Pass the goddamn butter. So now I use that, and that's super helpful. And 3 against 2 is, it sounds more like a tribal rhythm, and you're like around a fire. Okay, so pass the goddamn butter. But yes, this is almost like a tag on the chorus, right? But it happens a couple times, post-chorus. Listen to the guitar. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not sure exactly what that chord is yet, but it didn't go back far enough. Maybe something like that. So it's an F. It's an F chord of some kind, maybe with a 7th, which is a very shoegaze thing of them to do. It's a D. Listen to how pretty that is against the 2 chord. Can feel it. No, we didn't even turn it. I can feel it. That's something. There was a slightly different thing. Oh, I have to talk about this. The rhythm. So he goes to the I can feel it. So I can feel it, and then instead of doing an exact repeat, like I can feel it, I can feel it, same placement in the bar, I think they wait a beat and then start the same exact pattern, just shoved back, which I love. I can feel it. Yeah. That's also a 4 against 3. Yeah, this one's beautiful. I definitely want to listen to this one again as well. Beautiful layers. It has like I'll say this. Some of Chino's non-melodic verses and choruses I forget about. Like they just don't stick with me, you know? I would say that about both My Mind is a Mountain and Lock Club. Like I can only remember the melodic parts. There's other tracks where his rapping or whatever is incredibly memorable to me because the rhythms are so well defined and catchy in and of themselves. Like, you know, Street Carp and a bunch of stuff on Adrenaline. Anyway, but I'm really, really feeling quite intrigued by the melodic parts of these songs, and it makes me want to come back and listen to them again and just submerge myself in them. And I'm sure in the process I will start to get familiar with the non-melodic verses, or I'll just start focusing more on the production around it. But it's nice. Okay, let's keep going. You know me, I tend to go into too many details for the first like 5 songs and go, oh shit, there's not enough time, and then the last ones get shafted, so I'm going to try to avoid that. Let's go to ecdysis. Ecdysis. Oh. Almost a little nailsy. What? What in the filter? Ecdysis is the process of shedding the old skin in reptiles.
Can we sit here silent, just hoping to survive here? What cut through acreage divided and spiraling entirely again? Lost and rolling my blood, shakes up bones away. Descending through our blood,
6 feet bar.
these winds, rivers rising, swollen
Abe.
streams dividing. Watch it cut its way through the valleys, while devouring it entirely again. They said because I live, base our towns away. Ascending to running inside these winds. The flames are alive, reclaim their radiance. These flames are divine, reclaim their environment. I can phase Lost and rolling my blood, shakes up bones away. Descending through our blood, inside these winds. This time because I live, and the days are close away. Ascending through our blood, inside these winds.
These songs feel so short to me. I mean, I'm not against a short song, especially if it says everything it needs to say. But I guess I just love them so much. I wish it would go on a bit longer. That's okay. That's okay. Ooh, that one sounded good. Infinisaurus. Okay, cool. This one is different. This one sounded like it was filter influenced. They've been infiltrated. There is not only the tone of the bass, but the pattern of it. That, and then there was something else about it. I mean, even before. Yeah, so this. Frank Delgado, right? On the synths. At first it was like, ooh, it's a little nailsy, you know? But it definitely stood out. Like, I know that they use synths, and that's something that I think it was part of why White Pony was such a revelation, you know? But this one's so explicit. I guess a lot of their synth work is more implicit or, yeah, just subtle. This is like, hi, I'm a synth. You know, synth intro. And this sets the tone for a little bit more of a playful, I think, vibe because it's kind of got that rock major sound. Otherwise known as Mixolydian. There's a lot of Mixolydian vibes in this song. And then It's also the drum beat that sounds like filter. Abe is killing it. That's such a sexy beat. It sounds like, and so they did this on the first track, My Mind is a Mountain. There is an additional snare sound, I think, that is, you know, I guess I don't know the mechanics of it all. If it's like a sample he's triggering on his kit, but there's, yeah, like a layering of snare sounds. And one of them sounds either like not like a typical snare or just programmed, you know, synthesized or sampled or something. In Mine is a Mountain, it was like a sound. This one's almost more like hitting a giant metal tub. No, it's just the snare. My bad. No, it's just the snare. It just has a lot. It's just the one snare. I still believe that there's a layering possibly of snares in My Mind is a Mountain, but, or sampled something or other. But this one, no, I guess it's just a very tonal, what do you call it? What's the tail that comes off a transient? The reverberation. It just sounds kind of blah. His pills fill me with joy. Oh, those little details are so good. So yeah, okay. So this part, this is like a kind of a stuck feeling vamp. You could interpret this so many ways, like in Jane Says Something na, 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 tomorrow, where the tonal center feels as if you're just sort of missing it and you're just like stuck here. I guess you could also think of it as Lydian, but I don't know that this feels like home to me. It doesn't feel homey at all, so it's got this very cool stuck feeling. I love that stuck feeling, especially when it sort of resolves down to D and then it goes duh. But this also gives, that's what it is. This is another Mixolydian sounding moment to me. Again, it's not right or wrong, it's just an interpretation, but this higher chord sounds more homey to me. So if it is home, then it's like you would have this in Mixolydian as well. You'd have because there's this little thing that's going. I don't know if it's a synth. I think it is, but it's really quiet. It's mostly on the right, but it's so pretty and so like, you know, not metal. So yeah, this one feels like a different genre. I want to go back to, hang on. Get some more parallel fourths or fifths harmonies again. That da and that da. It doesn't sound like Alice in Chains when Chino does it because his voice is so much more pure than, I mean, I think Jerry actually has a more purish voice, but Jerry still has a little more texture in his voice than Chino. Chino's voice is so sweet, really. And then, I know he screams, but when he's singing, it's very sweet. So the texture of Lane and Jerry, it makes that like, that grit. Sounds more like 10 Years or Perfect Circle. Guys, this is another non-melodic melody in the chorus there. I think it's half and half, actually, right? It's like... That's beautiful. Da, 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 wait. Da, da, da. Here's the part. Out of the beat. There's the synth. I heard it again. It's doing something else. Sweet. Very layered song. I also want to hear that one again. But we're going to move forward to Infinite Source, which the first second of it I heard by accident sounded amazing. So let's hear the rest of the seconds. New game. Interesting contrast. Not expecting this, you guys. Parallel third harmonies. A different sound. I think this song is about death. Interesting. Shit, these songs are so short. It is. I suspected as much. I was like, this song itself just does sound sort of like more pleasant, more relaxed, more positive, uplifting even. It's probably about something really dark, you know? And it's hard to tell, you know? They're not being explicit, but the lyrics are, you know, just say you're down and pull me close, hold on to me, face the crowd, take hold of me, hold me tight. Last time adorning the stage, a final wave and bow. Raise your glass high. Here's for the years, 1,000 dreams. Face the crowd, keep holding me. Last time adorning the stage with love we've chased and found. The last ride we're gonna take, our final wave and bow. All those nights, all of our dreams, all of these years, I'm releasing. We are afloat. keep a hold of me here as long as you can. So I don't know. I'm just interpreting it as an analogy for dying, or just like the end of your life or something. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't say, yeah, it's bittersweet. It feels bittersweet. It doesn't feel like everything's great, but it's also not like explicit pain. It's more nuanced. That was a more shoegaze sound. And I feel like Deftones, all bands have this, I think. They have different gears that they go into. And Deftones has their more like, adrenaline style kind of gear, and their like sexy alternative metal gear. They have their shoegaze gear. The shoegaze gear I tend not to shift into on purpose. It's like, just doesn't do for me what the other gears do, but I can appreciate it. And but shoegaze, I don't know the history of it that much. I guess it's from guitarists adding a lot of effects, right, to their guitars with all these pedals, and so looking down all the time to change their pedals. But with the music that y'all have said, oh, that's shoegaze, I'm starting to pick up on it, and I have a lot of major seventh chords. So that's definitely true for this song. The predominant chord is this. And then maybe the minor one here. Sorry, wrong. That kind of vibe has a lot to do with the chords. It's of course also the tones, no doubt. But the contrast between those two sections in the verse are very interesting to me. You get this big, huge chord, fills up the whole space, and then it stops, and you're just left with the drums and maybe the bass. At least Chino. Wrong song. I'm so sorry. Oh, I see. That's the chord progression. My bad. I think. Yeah, just kind of cool contrast. Okay, all right. Wasn't my favorite, but I'm sure it'll grow on me. Next one is Souvenir. voice still sounds so great. So scored. Huh. Clean guitar. Okay. Souvenir is cool. I love how Deftones stays true to their style, but continues to, try new things. Like, they don't sound, to me, they don't sound like they're stuck in the past. They, know who they are, but I don't know. There's enough, fresh ideas for me as a fan to be I feel them growing, us growing together kind of feeling, which is cool. This one had some clean guitar, which is pretty rare. I mean, I'm trying to think, when's the last time I heard clean guitar in a Deftones song? Nothing's coming up. I'm sure there's something. There's gotta be, right? This can't be the first time, but the beginning, is already big sus chord, but then this feels very different. A little more Tool. It's got a little more ritualistic sound to it, and reverent almost, and mysterious. Not super common to hear Abe doing the cross stick. That synth that Frank's using is very cool. It kind of has like a tinge of a harpsichord tone to it, which I really like, that buzzy sound. Yeah, I don't know. It's just... And then the vocal processing that Chino's got here. I mean, he often has a processing where the highs are like rolled off. It's kind of this kind of feeling, you know? But on top of that, there's also something else. It almost sounds like a harmonizer or a vocoder. It's subtle. It's not intense. I could be completely wrong about how it's done, but it's a little distorted. Something. Like that last note, it sounded like there was more than just like there was another like buzzy note or something, but I can't tell you what pitch it was. So yeah, I'm not sure, but it gives me the feeling as the listener of like a little bit of a vocoder, which is just I love that sound. It's really cool. And then and you can really hear Chino's. I said this before and I'll say it again. Chino has sort of a jazzy release in his vocal lines. He'll sometimes do this sort of like hard to describe and also hard for me to emulate because I'm not really like a trained vocalist or anything, but sometimes it's this certain kind of vibrato he does at the very end of a note, and other times it's the way he just like releases it. I don't know, but it does sound a little jazzy. So you can really hear that here. I want to hear the chorus one more time.
Translucent walls you've made crumble down again.
Oh yeah, I have to talk about the again. Again. Love that. He sounds so good. So really high against this chord. Oh, it's the sixth. Okay, but later. Okay, so guitar's doing the biting bend. Hovering in space, and then
Embracing the lights, discovering something else.
a little bit of that. But then, okay, I'm gonna go back to one of those double choruses. That's a very adrenaline Chino. Something in the background. Listen to that. Come on, chorus. This fill sounds so punchy. It almost sounds like he's doing double kicks with every snare hit. Maybe they just maybe they just brought out the bass frequencies of all the drums really perfectly. Because that sounds so punchy. Anyway, okay. Oh right, this part. Okay. Then it goes major. To a very Radiohead moment, but then hits you with the flat six something, and then maybe it's back to this chord, but I think maybe it's major this time. I don't know. Very pretty. Let's find all the deeps. 4 o'clock. Fuck. note that he's on in this chord. I think this is called a minor 6 chord. It's so spacey. It's perfect. Space. It's got a tritone. And then, and this note that he comes to on the flat 6 chord is the 9th, which makes it all a bit. He has an incredible sense of dissonance. And then it gets sort of, I'm not sure this is major or minor anymore. It doesn't sound like either, really. Maybe a little major. I don't know. Okay, then this. So there's the 6th. This is what he did before the again. Earlier, we ride is what he's singing out. We ride. And then he does it. She takes this melody and just adds, now sings We Ride with it all, which is beautiful. So you got mode mixture up the wazoo here. That was cool. I like that one. And then the synth outro was beautiful. It was very sad sounding to me. Calm After the Storm. I love a good companion track. Really beautiful lush chords, lots of 7ths and 9ths and tensions and 6ths and just close dissonances, but nothing that makes you go like, ah! Just pleasing. Next is CXZ. Oh. Really nice vocal harmonies. Nice. Milo. Hello, sweet girl. Okay. I was a little distracted at the end of that one because of the cat, sorry. But, I'm gonna go back to the beginning here. This one's so full. That is a full mix. You know, this one also has that sort of ambiguous Mixolydian or Lydian or Jane says vamp. I have to talk about this though. Zero. Once again, Chino doing really cool melodies. He goes zero, and he has this as his harmony, or actually, I'm not sure which one's the melody, which one's the harmony, but he has these two notes next to each other, and you gotta. Interesting. Zero. That's called a sharp 11 chord or a Lydian chord. I have a whole video about it with respect to Stone Temple Pilots. But listen to that zero. Let's see. I think it's zero. I'm guessing he's saying zero. I'm not sure. But sorry. Zero. That's weird and cool. And then the melody is zero. That? How pretty. Nice, Chino. I like this groove, this Abe groove. Da-da-ga-da, da-da-ga-da. What does this remind me of, though? Oh, Third Eye Blind. Da-da-ga-jana, da-da-ga-jana, da-da-ga-jana. Can I graduate? Spot of the snares again. Nice bending. Okay, guitar-wise, dissonant. I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of sounds like a, I'm hearing some maybe like half-step dissonance possibly, or it could be seventh, but what is up? What is down? That's catchy. That's good. Okay. All right. Yeah, I like this one. Next is I Think About You All the Time. Okay, I guess they do use clean guitar. It's at the beginning of Change in the House of Flies, I just realized. Maybe this isn't clean. It's cleaner. It's cleaner. I'm sorry. I need to stop thinking and talking and just listen. I'm sorry. We say inside your ocean. All
inside of your warship. Lay next to me, I'll see a place, and we're out of our minds. See all of my life, we'll never change. All of our days, show me the way. All the way,
That one was different. That's a nice chord progression. That's a mode mixture one. I love the mode mixture very much. But that's just that part. I mean, the rest of it was not, I don't think, a mixture. More shoegazy. I can tell that that's like a good song, but it didn't really do much for me on my first listen. I'm sure it'll grow on me, but it didn't grab me at all. Interesting. But some of you are mentioning Rosemary. It's the Rosemary of this record, and I also feel the same way about Rosemary. People love Rosemary, and I'm like, okay, I mean, great. I just don't feel that way. And yes, there was acoustic guitar strumming along, like a Beatles song. Oh my God. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Everyone's gonna send me hate. Like I said, just my first listen. I also had some like feelings about ohms. They're recorded. You can go watch it. And then like, what was it? Like a month or two later, I was like, okay, I love ohms now. I love it. I love it so much. Whatever gripes I had, I don't care anymore. Like, I love it. Let's do it all the time. So it's probably going to be one of those situations. Okay, next is Milk of the Madonna. Listeners. Swerve City kind of rhythms. I like the Spirit. You know what that reminds me of? Also Swerve City. Lot 6 report. Open hi-hat is nice. Woo.
Holy Ghost.
Yes, it's like a more shoegazy Swerve City. I'm into it. Also the classic. Big fat fucking 7th chord. I think. Maybe a 9th chord? It's probably 9th chord. Now I feel like it's supposed to lead into hey prostitute. No, it's not right. That's not the right first lyric. Is it gravity? Hey, vanity. The end of that sounded like whatever comes before. I can't even think of the name of that song. Around the Fur. Duh. Okay. That was good. That was good. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Swerve City, which I like Swerve City a lot. Swerve City has a little bit more of a... Swerve City's in Phrygian dominant. And then this one, and Swerve City has a huge shoegaze verse, like, oh my god. And this one was also kind of, yeah, swervy and shoegazy. It had, but it was a different riff, but similar rhythm, similar drum pattern. Yeah, it's cool. His vocals are a lot more pushed back in this one. So I kind of like don't remember what he was singing. I kind of just remember the guitars. They were the stars. The guitars. Man, I have the worst portmanteaus today. Yeah. Okay. We swerving. Let's listen to Cut Hands.
What's the laughter? It's what the laughter from me.
Oh, was this the one I listened to? It is. Song Firestarter. One. This is my gear. It feels like present Deftones and baby Deftones made something together. It's so adrenaline and also a little around the fur. I mean, that groove. I mean, so Adrenaline was not maybe like their best mixed record. You know, it was their first record. It's a little more raw in that respect. But and like maybe they hadn't dialed in the drum kit quite. But like, you know, around the fur, like the drum kit, you know, it's like peak, so good, and that continued. But it kind of feels like, yeah, like if they did Adrenaline now. So I love it. I also feel that hook is hooky. I kept thinking about it. You know, what is it? Your eyelids getting heavy, and then he's just doing his. It's so Adrenaline. And what is it? You are no longer steady. Something very cool happening though with the chords. There's definitely a flat six happening. Wow, 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 wow. It's so. Okay, here we go. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, wait. And it's getting heavy. Oh, wait. suspended cardigan. Is that it? No, sorry. Oh, right, see. Yeah, suspended. I love the syncopation of these chord changes. The and honestly, I'm not sure that this part is in 4/4. The phrasing is unusual, and we could count it, but it's fine. But it's a little unpredictable. Like when is this cycle gonna get kicked off of the dun dun dun? When is he gonna sing? How long is that last chord gonna last before it starts over? A little bit of that. I'm sure once I listen to it again and again, I'll memorize it. But I like that feeling a lot of like, ooh, I'm on my toes here, listening to the song, and the mixing is primo. Like, it's just so well done. It's spacious, it's deep, it has a full dynamic range, everything has its place. The guitar sounds perfect, the bass sounds perfect, the drums sound perfect, Chino sounds amazing. Like, it's just really, really, really well done. Really well done. And I love this so much. It's so breathy. There's a lot of delay on his voice. It's very spacey. And it's getting heavy. And then he yells. So there's just this really cool. I mean, there's not a lot of bands that like go between singing like a soft, sexy boy to screaming in the same line. That's cool. Mindless self-indulgence, maybe not the soft part, but goes between singing and screaming and rapping and, very quickly. But this is definitely think it's like a Deftones, something about them that stands out to me. This groove felt very a little faster, but I'll be right with her from Adrenaline. So I don't know any of the names of those songs. I know the names, but I can't remember which song it goes to because they're so completely like unrelated to anything they say, But the one, the boom, na 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 na, dum boom boom dun 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 dun. Okay, so yeah, that felt, but with the around the fur mix and like depth, good. If I had never heard around My Own Summer, and I heard this song first, this is the song I'd be like, I want to be a drummer, like this groove, just like all his little details. He's got all these like up tempo kind of punk little. They're not like full on fills, but they're like little details that keep the groove interesting and add so much feel to it, But even if this guy just went, oh, I would still be like best drummer ever. He's just got such amazing feel. Okay, so I'm fangirling over this song. I feel like, wow, like a 12-year-old at a Beatles show. This is my track. I'm a fan. Well, let's see. We got 2 more after this, so I don't know. It may dethrone Cut Hands, but so far Cut Hands is it for me. Amazing. Okay, next is, what is this called again? Tilde? Is that what it's called? The little Metal Dream.
Step into your dimensions, deep into the heart of the other.
Searching for a solace we created far beyond what exists. Sick and tired of having truth flowing out of time as we embrace. Deeply enthralled in your grasp. In your dreams, all we see are the golden shades lay ahead. After we sleep, I soon will see and perfect pose together. Crashing through the first bed, breathing deep, I sink into your chest. Bathing in the crystal coated rays where anyone exists.
This feels like
Straying out of consciousness, hear the
David
morning
Bowie.
masses we embrace.
Prince. Nice. Do it again. I knew they wouldn't. Too obvious. Abe. Nice. Strong. Strong song. Okay. What I like about this one is it felt like the production was kind of interesting. You know, it's just like there's some fresh stuff happening here. And it's a little creative. Chino is singing, rapping? I can't remember now. Even this beginning is very unlike any Deftones song I can think of.
Trapped into your controls, deep into the heart of the abyss.
He's kind of rapping, but he kind of sounds like David Bowie and I'm Afraid of Americans and a little bit like Prince. And I can't say I've ever thought that before about Chino's vocal delivery. So that's exciting. Yeah. But does have that Johnny's an American, something da. Does have that a little bit. Dirty groove. That snare is so trashy. Is it just... Are the snares off? But it's still so punchy. It's hard to tell. Or it could just be like a smaller snare that's really tight and there's a ton of reverb on it. I'm not sure. And then big... The bass is also kind of... It's a little bit of that filter movement as well, and it's a little more funky. I was just listening to Korn, and some of Fieldy's bass lines are very like funky like that, and then it's almost got that like Army of Me kind of vibe. What is that? Okay, so we got we got a and Chino inhales on the second one, right? Oh no, he's actually he's Princing or Michael Jacksoning. Okay, great. And then I gotta look at the chorus here. It's in the key of A minor, kind of. I'm gonna play everything as a sus chord just because it's fun. Oopsie, there we go. Hey, da, da, da. Then it comes back. That's a good melody. I'm probably messing it up. Yep, bam. Oh well, that was fun. Big wall of sound with the guitars. It's amazing we can hear Chino at all. I mean, and he's got beautiful vocal harms up top. Fourths, I think. How pretty. So many sevenths. That was cool. Oh yeah, and then this thing. I missed it. Da da da. Which says, it's a 4, right? Yeah. Da da da. Okay, so listen. Something's doing a 7th. Oh no, sorry. Suspension. Da da da. I hear this note. Da da da. Oh no, it is. Okay, it's a whole full on 9th chord, pretty much. No, there's the 3rd. It's a full 9th chord. That da 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 is so great. Together. I love how they did it just the 3 times. That was nice. I look forward to that part. That's good. I'm gonna listen to that one again for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay, and last is Departing the Body. I guess I didn't need to rush through a couple of those. My bad.
There's a room we hang in space. It's clear, cold, 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 cold. A total lie is all that remains. I've spent these days apart. Our moments bias away. We
off, Abe. Oh. Mm-hmm. That's a great track too. Wow. I did get a little distracted at the end because I was like, let's see how much it would cost for me to get this on CD or vinyl or both. I don't have a lot of disposable income right now, but I don't know. Happiness is important too. Wow. That was good. The beginning, interesting production, definitely made my ears prick up. Kind of experimental and weird, sound designy. And then Chino sounds like who's the guy? Is it Peter? Who's the guy from Typo Negative? Peter or something? He kind of had that like just really low, like gothy delivery, and I literally thought it was someone else at first. And then I was like, no, it's him. He can actually do a lot with his voice. And then really interesting, pretty melodies in this one. Da, da, da. Some of that happening. Man, Steven loves those sus chords. I'm not mad about it. It sounds so good. Oh yeah, let's figure this out together. This riff. It's not hard. Establishing you as being in D. Interesting sampling maybe of a guitar. Maybe it's just effects. No, it's sampling. Nice and simple, but the predominant note is the ninth, which is just fun, always. He does an A sus 2, which is A, E, B. So I wonder if he's doing that with distortion later.
There's a room.
Let's find it. There's a room so low. Too far. Is with distortion. Nice. Very sludgy. I love it. Doomy a little bit. Da, da, da. Okay, so see there, because It sounds like it's kind of a mix, or it kind of sounds minorish and pretty. Sorry. Then it goes, and then you get the mix vibes. Right here. That fill is great. Okay. Oh, it was earlier. Okay. So. Big fucking power chords. Actually, that's not, but this one. And the synth. Vocal harmonies. There it is. Great melody, Chino. Is he counting or is he just going with the delay on it? Ooh, I have to hear that fill one time. It's a callback to the one that happened before the first chorus. The jugad, 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 brah. But this time, it's like this more of a cascade with the... Instead of a big flam on the 4, it's a 4 and, so it feels like it's being pushed closer to the edge of the end. If that makes sense. He even starts it a beat after the other one. I love it. Okay, that was good. That was very good. It has a bookended beginning and end to that one, which is a nice way to just end an album. All right, solid. Yes, I mean, I have my favorites. I always do, but this is a good album. I'll definitely listen to this whole thing straight through, and I will probably listen to it over and over and over again in the next couple months, and fall in love with it. Can't wait to listen to Cut Hands again. That was it for me. What was your favorite? I want to know. In case mine changes. It probably won't, though. You know. Thank you so much for joining me for this first listen of Private Music. And, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay. All right. Oh, and if you're watching the replay, if you want to join these kinds of album listening parties, you can join my Patreon. All right. I will see you next time. Farewell. Have a great day. Be kind to yourself. Okay? Do it.